everybody, it's Terri Lee Guthrie, and I wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit about where I came from and where I'm headed. I started out in the sales industry when I was probably about, I'd say 16 years old. I was still in high school, and I went to work for a video store in Tulare, California. It was owned by Dennis January, and it was in the very beginning when everybody was starting to watch VHS and beta machines. I don't know if you remember this, but I worked there my junior and senior year, and we were renting those video machines and 2 movies out on Friday and Saturday nights, and we couldn't keep them on the shelf. And I told Dennis one day, we should start selling these machines. And he was like, Terri, that's a great idea. So that's where my sales first started, was at All That Video. So anybody in Tulare County will remember All That Video in Tulare. After I graduated from high school, I wanted to be an interior designer. I went to COS for a little bit, got some education, and I went to work for an interior designer in Visalia. His name was David Gonzalez Interiors. And he wouldn't hire me because he said that I didn't have any experience. So he said, go get some experience and come back to me and I'll hire you. So I did. I went to school, got some experience, and I went back to him and said, I got some experience now. And he hired me. So I worked for him for a couple of years. We did a lot of work for Channel 26, Harry Pappas. We did a lot of out-of-state stuff for him, and I got a lot of experience with him. I worked for him for a couple of years, and then after that, I went to work for Coulter's Design Gallery at Tulare. And I worked for them for like 16 years. I did window coverings, floor covering. I ran their drapery department, and that was my big sales career, was there. While I was there, I was taking care of a real estate company by the name of Stetson Properties. And I took care of their draperies and their carpeting for all their rentals. And Pat Stetson came to me one day and asked me if I would like to buy their real estate company. And I was like, I have no idea about real estate. I'm not a realtor. I'm an interior designer. That was like 1997 when that happened. And I was so scared to have to go and try to study for real estate and work. I was a single mom at that time, and I told them I just really can't do it. I just can't take the time off. So fast forward 2 more years, 1999, 2000. I had been doing this now for 16 years, and I was honestly burnt out in the interior design field. So I went back to Pat and Ken Stetson, and I said, hey, I'm ready to buy that business if you want to sell it. And they said, absolutely. So I went to study for my real estate license. I closed escrow on a Friday, and I took my test on a Monday, and I was off to the races. When I bought Stetson, we had 74 doors that we managed, and Angela Alcantar was my broker at that time. Later on in years, we became partners, and in about 2010, I wanted to relocate to the Central Coast. It had always been a dream of mine to move to the Central Coast. My boys were almost out of high school, and I wanted out of Tulare County. So Angela bought me out, and we were like 250 doors then. It was after the crash of the market. My business had just blown up in the property management. So she bought me out, and I moved to the Central Coast. I did a little bit of real estate over there, but I was actually out showing property to a doctor one day, and she told me, hey, I need someone like you to run my business. So I told her, hey, pay me enough, and I'll run your business. Well, she took me up on it. So 2013, roughly, I started working for this doctor. And we had a concierge practice. We did aesthetics. We did weight loss management, IV infusion. I mean, it was so challenging. I loved it. I mean, give me a commodity to sell and I can learn it and I can sell it. So I did that for about 5 years. I was still selling real estate. And then probably in about 2017, we parted ways and I was just back into real estate. Moving forward to like 2021, I met a gentleman and he told me I should get my loan origination license. And of course, I'm a lot older then, and I was like, oh my God, I got to take another test. So I started studying for my loan origination license, and I'll have to be honest with you, that test kicked my butt. 20 years later, I'm older, my mind wasn't as sharp as I didn't think, but I passed it. I locked myself in my house for 45 days, and all I did was eat, drink, and sleep loan origination. Got my license in 2021, and I moved back to Porterville then in 2022 so that I could be close to my kids and my grandkids. So now, fast forward, I'm working for RWM Home Loans. I'm living in Porterville. I'm loving being a loan officer. A lot of people ask me, well, do you miss selling real estate? And I'm like, no, I don't miss selling real estate because I'm still in the real estate industry. I deal with real estate agents all the time, being a loan officer. But what I do know about this industry is that when I did move home, all the realtors that I did work with in the past are either gone or they're out of the business or they're still around. But the loan officers that I worked with then, when they were my loan officers, are now pretty much my competition. And so it's been very eye-opening when I came home that I had to get out there and hit the pavement to build my book of business. And that's exactly what I did. When I got home, I started meeting new agents. I went out and did open houses with them. I was available to clients, educating clients, educating new agents that had just gotten their license. It's been a journey, but it's been well worth it. So now, after telling you everything about me, how I got to where I'm at, let's talk about how you would start out as a buyer, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you bought a home a couple years ago. My process is you need to speak to a lender first. I had a saying out there whenever I sold houses is I don't go to the grocery store and buy groceries unless I know how much I can spend. And you shouldn't be out looking at homes unless you know how much you can spend. You want to know what your monthly payment is, and you want to know what your cash to close is going to be. So how I start out with my clients is I do have an app that I can send you, and you can fill that out in the comfort of your home. Or I meet with my clients in person and we do the application together. There's a list of documents that you have to get, and I can get you that list of documents based on whether you're a W-2 employee or you're self-employed, and we'll go over that. Once we get the application completed, I get your assets and all that information. Then I go in and set up your application based on the program that's going to fit you and your best needs, based on the assets that you have, how much money you have saved, if you need down payment assistance, that we can help you to save some money in the very beginning. I set all that up, and then we talk about what is going to fit your needs. Once we've figured that out, then we push your loan into what we call underwriting. And what that is that's the person that goes in and checks all your assets, checks all your debt. We do a verification of employment. That's the most important piece of the puzzle. That's where that we send a verification of employment to your employer. And it asks questions like, how long have you been working at this job? Do they anticipate giving you a raise? Are you working any overtime? Do you get any bonuses? Those are all kinds of income that I can pull out of that verification of employment so that I can get the most usable income that I can get for you. Once we get that, then the underwriter looks at the file and makes sure that everything is acceptable for the purchase price that you're asking for, and then they sign and say that they authorize this loan and that you can start going out shopping. And that's the thing that people don't understand. You don't need my signature for the loan. You don't need the owner's signature. You need the underwriter's signature on that loan. She has a special license, and her license states that she's looked at everything and she agrees that you're going to be able to pay that loan back. Once you've been fully underwritten, our company, RWM, we give a certified pre-approval. You can go out and start shopping with your realtor, and we can close your loan 17 days or sooner. That makes your loan so powerful. Once that happens, and you go out and make an offer and you get into escrow with your agent, then your agent kind of picks up from there, and you will then next will want to go out and do a home inspection. Then once your home inspection is acceptable, then I order your appraisal. I don't like to do any home inspections, your appraisal until your home inspection is satisfied. Because if there's something on that home inspection that needs to be repaired and the seller says no, I don't want to do an appraisal because I can't get that money back for you. And I don't know about you, but I don't have extra money laying around that I want to spend if I don't have to. So my goal is to not spend your money unless I have to. Once we get the house appraised and it appraises for the value that you're purchasing it, then pretty much after that, it's back into underwriting. It comes out of underwriting. We get clear to close. We get docs into escrow. They balance everything. Then escrow calls you out and they set up an appointment with the notary to sign. Once you've signed the docs, after that we fund and you are a homeowner. That's pretty much the process of purchasing a home. Me and my team, we're here to support you, walk you through the process, and make it as seamless and as we can. I'd love to work with you. Give me a call.